Yo, what's good, my peoples? It's your boy, Big Chris, aka the Compton Animator, and I'm here to give you people another review. Before I start this review, I basically want to make an announcement that I'm going to start changing up the ways that I do this review. I'm gonna start adding more animation to this review. I'm an animator, so I'm gonna add a little bit of animation here and there, and some characters and stuff like that. Add a little wrestling characters here and there. So yeah, probably either starting in a few weeks, next week, or more likely by the new year, I would be adding a lot of stuff to this review to make it more fun for people to watch and stuff like that, and just to have more fun with these reviews. But getting into the review itself, tonight's review is for WWE Raw, December 9th, 2013, and tonight we have the Slammy Awards. So it's a Slammy Award edition of Raw. They start off the show with Daniel Bryan versus Fandango. We get a pretty chill match here. A lot of nice moves done by Daniel Bryan and Fandango. All culminating with Daniel Bryan hitting his running knee on Fandango and going for it and getting the win. After the match, we get a promo from Bray Wyatt saying, his whole little promo thing that he's been saying for the past week, telling Bryan that he's not a hero and that people shouldn't believe in him and stuff like that, and that he needs to join and stuff, and that basically saying Daniel Bryan, keeps fighting and fighting what Bray Wyatt's trying to get him to believe in, and that it's going to do nothing but hamper on Daniel Bryan, saying that what Daniel Bryan believes in is basically fairy tales, and all these people is just trying to look for a happy ending when there is none, and that Bray Wyatt's going to win. Bray Wyatt wants a fight. So we get a nice little promo right there. After that we get Slammy Awards starting off. I'm gonna say this right now. Most of the Slammies were pretty whatever tonight. I don't really want to talk about them that much because you could tell some of them weren't really, they weren't done up great, and a lot of them were fixed. So I think the first one here was introduced by Billy Gunn and Road Dogg, and both Billy Gunn and Road Dogg were dressed up like in those Dumb and Dumber tuxedos, the orange and light blue ones that they wore in Dumb and Dumber, so they was wearing those. And the nominee was for LOL Moment of the Year, and The Rock won it with Vicky Guerrero when he was doing a little song about Vicky Guerrero looking like a hooker. So Vicky comes to the stage and basically accepts the award for herself and stuff. Next we get a Damian Sandow versus Santino Marella match, with Sandow picking up the win here, and Biggie Langston was on commentary. So we get an in-ring segment with Biggie and Sandow. Actually, Biggie kind of bumps into Sandow at the end of the match and stuff like that, and just basically them two standing there and getting ready for their match and at TLC. So let's see. After that, we get, let's see, the Shield. Oh, the Shield comes out to the stage, and they're all wearing black suits, and they're to introduce the award for Double Cross of the Year. And this little nomination thing, they kind of see some hints at Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns kind of butting heads a little bit here, and who wins that is for Double Cross of the Year. Does it say who won it? Hold on 1 second. I can't read it here. It was somebody. I'm reading my notes and I forgot where I put it at. So Oh, the Double Cross of the Year goes to Shawn Michaels on Daniel Bryan. So then we get a match with The Miz and Kofi Kingston, and it was a pretty good match here. A lot of aggression from Kofi Kingston. You get even one part where The Miz runs out the ring and is trying to evade Kofi. Kofi runs after him, beats him up a little bit, but you get The Miz who wins here with a roll up. And it was a pretty nice match here. Kofi Kingston after the match gets frustrated and hits his kick. What is it? Tropic Paradise or something like that. What is this kick called? Trouble in Paradise on the Miz, which was pretty nice. And you Kofi Kingston like acting real pissed. The Miz is just knocked out in the ring. After that, we get Eve Torres, who comes out and basically introduced for Diva of the Year, and we get the Bella Twins, who win Diva of the Year. This was the first sign of me saying, okay, this is fixed. During the Bella Twins' whole little speech, um, their little acceptance speech, they got basically dissed and booed by the crowd. AJ Lee should have, as big as a fan of anybody is for AJ Lee, if you're not a fan, everybody knows that AJ Lee is the most over diva right now, and people would have voted for AJ Lee. So her not winning this award kind of looks like, the WWE doesn't want her to be there, doesn't want her to win. So I don't know what's going on, but that was totally fixed. You could tell it was fixed. There's no Bree and all of them don't even get cheers in any city they're in. They don't get no cheers. So I don't see them win that award. AJ Lee, that was her award. They just didn't want to give it to her because one, they don't want her to get cheered because she's a heel. But it's whatever. So next match we get Rey Mysterio, Big Show, and the Rose Brothers versus Ryback, Axel, and the Real Americans. Okay match here, not one of the greatest, tag team matches that we've been, these big tag team matches that we've been seeing lately, but it was still a pretty, above average one. And it comes out with with Rey Mysterio, Big Show, and Cody Rhodes winning here. I think it was Cody Rhodes hits a disaster kick on Axel, and then Rey Mysterio jumps up and hits the 619, followed by the drop in a dime on Axel and gets the pin. So then we get Booker T and Lawler come back, and they introduce Shawn Michaels for the Superstar of the Year. And Shawn Michaels basically says, talks about how the award should be called HB Shizzle and stuff like that. And he introduces the nominees, and Daniel Bryan wins the award. So Daniel Bryan comes out and he kind of plays with the whole thing with Shawn Michaels a little bit and accepts the award and stuff. So it was okay because everybody knows it's Daniel Bryan's the Man of the Year. I mean, WWE can't fix that and say he's not. So next we get a match with Sin Cara and Alberto Del Rio. A very mediocre match here. Not that much to hear. That was pretty interesting. They still did the whole lights thing. You could tell that it's Hunico under the mask of Sin Cara, which I have no problem with. And what else? Alberto Del Rio also gets a concussion in this match, so that too. But Sin Cara ends up coming out with the win after hitting the Swanton. After that, we get Darren Young and Titus O'Neil come out to the stage, and they're presenting an award for what was it? It was something about like best hashtag or something like that of the year, and Daniel Bryan ends up winning it again for the yes 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 chance. And then we get a match with Brodus Clay and Xavier Woods, and the one good thing about this match with Brodus Clay and Xavier Woods is that we got to see some aggression from Brodus Clay. This was basically a squash match where Brodus Clay kind of caught Xavier Woods off guard a little bit and basically beat the shot of him. And you get, after the match, Brodus Clay starts just pummeling on Xavier Woods, and then everybody got to try to stop him. And R-Truth is like hitting him a few times, stuff like that, and trying to stop Brodus Clay from beating up on the young guy. So I guess it's pushing more towards more towards Brodus Clay heel turn. I guess whatever. I mean, it's interesting to see it happen. Just it's taking way too long, and they're still having them do the dance to the ring and stuff like that. So after that we get the Miz introducing the Slammy, and somebody wins. Really, this stuff. It was for, what was it for? Let's see. Oh, it's for the insult of the year, and Stephanie McMahon wins it for her insult. That's another one where AJ Lee's pipe bomb should have won. So yeah, it was like they screwed AJ Lee out of any Slammy she would have got tonight. So next we get a match with CM Punk versus Dean Ambrose. A little bit more rift in between the Shield here, them looking at each other during the match and stuff like that. And one part of the match, CM Punk Dean Ambrose threw CM Punk out of the ring, and I guess he was expecting the Shield to beat him up a little bit, and then so he put it back in the ring and get him. But the Shield didn't do nothing. But actually, this was a pretty good match here. And coming off of the match that these two had on SmackDown, it wasn't as energetic and as athletic and stuff as the other match, as exciting, as the other match, but it was still a pretty chill match here, and these two put on really good matches. But yeah, Dean Ambrose and CM Punk did real nice here, and you get CM Punk coming out with the roll up. No, not coming out with the roll up, but coming out hitting the GTS, and then the Shield are leaving the ring before that happens, and once the GTS hits, the other two members of the Shield run back, and Seth Rollins goes in to distract CM Punk, and then Roman Reigns runs into the ring and spears CM Punk. So it was a pretty nice way to end that match. Seeing Roman Reigns just coming out and looking like the Beast still, and them having to carry Dean Ambrose to the back. So hopefully we get to see what they do from here with the Shield, and I like the way that they're not fully breaking up the Shield like quickly or anything, or just having it be like a clean breakup, but actually letting the story play out a little bit. So after that we get let's see what else. Another slammy thing for most extreme moments of the year, and this is introduced by Mick Foley, and CM Punk wins that, and he basically cuts a promo, or does an acceptance, talking about how he's accepting a war in his underwear and stuff, and it's unusual to do that. So next match we get the Usos versus the Wyatts, Eric Rowan and Luke Harper. Actually another pretty fun match here. We get a lot of good just moves from both Luke Harper, Eric Rowan, and the Usos. Some of the Usos super kicks look real nice here, ending it off the match with a crazy clothesline from Luke Harper and pinning for the 1, 2, 3, and the Wyatts win over here. But yeah, this was a pretty fun match here. I like I said, I like a lot of the spots here and stuff like that, and there was some good story going on here. And the Wyatts winning, they went over strong and had a really good match and kept the Usos looking strong as well. So next we get Natalya versus Tamina, a real quick match with Natalya winning because Tamina picks up Natalya and tries to swing her, but accidentally kicks AJ Lee, who's on the apron, and Natalya wins with sharpshooter. So yeah, that was a real quick match. That was another one I was like, they could have sold that and done more story with that. So next we get our final segment of the night, which is they have all the I guess most of the former WWE and World Heavyweight champions that they can muster up for the night. Guys like, let's see, it was Triple H, Miz, Ziggler, Christian, Jack Swagger, CM Punk, Kane, Big Show, Mark Henry, Daniel Bryan, Rey Mysterio, The Great Khali, Booker T, Bret Hart, Mick Foley, Shawn Michaels, and it was some other guys that were up there too, it's saying. But Stephanie was speaking about how, they got all these guys up there, including Triple H, who's 13-time champion. And then Triple H goes to speak about how, he all these guys are champions, and they all deserve to be up here, but this match is going to be the biggest of the night. But the most interesting part about this beginning segment with Triple H here was that the crowd was going nuts, that they couldn't even deny it, how nuts they were going for Daniel Bryan, and they were just cheering the shit out of Daniel Bryan so badly that Triple H had to stop in mid-promo and just look at the crowd, and the cameras had to go back, and just the crowd were going nuts chanting Daniel Bryan so much that Shawn Michaels is trying to tell him to calm down, and Mark Henry was a smart guy that ends up just raising Daniel Bryan's hand and saying, going to get your cheer out and your yeses and stuff. They start chanting yes, and then they let Triple H kind of go on with his speech, but they still started doing the what chant when he was talking and stuff until he started introducing Randy Orton and John Cena. But yeah, it was just lovely seeing the crowd just show their aggression and saying, this is what we want, and you're not giving us what we want, so basically fuck you, like that. So then we get Randy Orton and John Cena starts cutting a promo. Randy Orton cuts his promo first, it's kind of just the same old shit, talk about how great he is. And it was still pretty boring and dry. I'm just not feeling Randy Orton at all here, and especially this whole sets of feuds. I just haven't been feeling Randy Orton. And then John Cena cuts a promo cuts his version of promo against Randy Orton, talking about work ethic and stuff like that. And he brings over Daniel Bryan and says that this guy works hard, and asks Daniel Bryan a series of questions about where he's from, and basically showing that Daniel Bryan came from nothing, but yet still work hard to get to his position. Then Cena talks about how hard he works and the things he does, and that Orton's basically a baby that's been handed everything to him, and that Cena has to actually work and do everything for him, and that if Orton comes that baby stuff to the TLC, that Cena's basically going to beat him up. And he tells Daniel Bryan that his first match will be, if he wins both belts, it will be against Daniel Bryan. Also, Cena in this promo was talking about how he's always been a fighting champion, and saying his motto has always been "Come get some. If you want some, come get some." And that he was the first person to give Dolph Ziggler a shot. And he fought against Triple H. I mean, not against Triple H, but against CM Punk when people was telling him that it wasn't a good idea. And he actually gave Daniel Bryan a shot, and actually was the one person that Daniel Bryan won cleanly over. So you have that. Then Triple H and Randy Orton and John Cena go to shake hands. Randy Orton hits John Cena in the face, and they start brawling. The wrestlers in the ring break it up, and while everybody's trying to hold back while half of the people are holding back Randy Orton, CM Punk comes over to hold him back, and Randy Orton basically hits CM Punk in the face, and CM Punk goes and attacks Randy Orton. Triple H pulls off CM Punk, throws him to the ground, and CM Punk basically hits CM Punk and hits him to the ground. I believe who was the one that came after CM Punk? Oh, Shawn Michaels super kicks CM Punk, and then Daniel Bryan does the running knee on Shawn Michaels. Randy Orton tries to go in for a RKO on Daniel Bryan, and ends up getting pushed from Daniel Bryan into Stephanie McMahon. Stephanie gets knocked down. Triple H and Randy Orton try to help her up, but Triple H gets pissed off and pedigrees Randy Orton. So you end the night with the Authority helping up. I mean, the rest of the Authority, Triple H and John Cena and Kane helping up Stephanie McMahon and Randy Orton on the ground, trying to basically shake the cobwebs off after getting pedigree. And it was kind of interesting seeing John Cena standing with the Authority, and wondering if that's going to hint to a future of more things, possibly a Cena's heel turn, or Cena joining up with the Authority but trying to stay face at the same time. So it should be interesting to see what happens from here on. I would say this about the end segment: it was that Cena kind of helped it out a little bit more. But about the whole night in general, if I was to grade it, I would grade it probably a C plus at the most. It was a lot of filler here, and especially with the slammy stuff. And none of the slammy things actually, were fun to watch at all. And what made it worse was you can tell blatantly that some of them were fixed. They had one at the end where the best match of the year was The Rock and CM Punk and John Cena for the WrestleMania, and I was like, no one would pick that match. That would be a match that no one would pick. And it's not just an internet guy saying that. It's a guy who's a normal wrestling fan that knows what kids will pick, what anybody will pick, and people wouldn't pick that match. Especially when you had the other matches like Undertaker and CM Punk that were on there, which everybody knew that was a better match. I mean, no matter who you was, if you're going to use that app, you wouldn't pick that match. So it's a C plus tonight. You had some good stuff here, like the CM Punk and Dean Ambrose match. You had the end segment with John Cena, who basically cut a cool little promo here. You had the beginning match with Daniel Bryan and Fandango, was pretty cool. Bray Wyatt family against Usos had a pretty nice match. So it was an average show tonight. Nothing too great, nothing too horrible here. Half and half going into the pay-per-view, which they barely talked about tonight. So thank you for watching. Hopefully I can get some animated stuff on this next review, or on the next whatever review coming up. I'll try to get some stuff to show y'all, and hopefully get some more fun in these reviews. So thank you for watching. Hit me up. Peace.